things. One of the most interesting things RZA's ever said to me was, there is a version of Cream with RZA and Ghostface. Just them. But when he recorded Deck and Ray, he said they sounded better than we did.
Really?
So that's the version I put out.
Oh, they got to put that version out still.
You are now watching Rhymes and Politic. Spit them balls.
Yo, what up, hip hop junkies? It's your right hand man, Cise, the host of Rhymes and Politic. Check it out, y'all. Got a dope episode for y'all, man. This man sitting next to me is a staple in this hip hop culture. One of the stones in that pyramid, man. This is a man I came up watching as a kid, like a big cousin on television, man. So and I bring your name up too when I say as far as carrying the torch in media.
Right.
I mentioned Ralph McDaniels, I mentioned you, I
Yeah.
mentioned the Joe Clairs, the Fat Five Freddies. Yo, man, you got a outstanding career in this culture, man. How does that make you feel?
It feels surreal at sometimes. It does, especially when you meet people that explain to you what that kind of movement, what that era meant to them.
Yes.
Sometimes it's surreal, sometimes like an out-of-body experience. Like, you talking about me, like this kid from Queens that
Right.
was just trying to find my way into the hip-hop world. So sometimes it's very satisfying. I'm very happy about it, but sometimes it's like super surreal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
It's like, the other day, I give a classic example. I'm a cigar enthusiast, so I smoke cigars, and I was in my cigar spot right here in Atlanta, out actually in Lithia Springs. It's called Cise, and Jerry Rice was on there.
Wow.
Now, I'm a huge fan of Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice was bugging out about meeting me.
Yeah.
And I'm bugging out about meeting Jerry Rice. So those are the kind of moments, like, you're talking about the greatest wide receiver that ever played a game of football.
Absolutely.
And he fanning out over me, and I'm fanning out over him at the same time. So them kind of moments are really surreal for me.
That's crazy.
Like, you never think that you're on somebody like Jerry Rice's radar.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we got Ed Lover right here, man. This is an honor right here. My hip hop spirit is like super through the roof right now, man. When were you introduced to hip hop though? Like, what was that moment?
It wasn't one specific moment. It was just like, it was around. Like, the music was around, and then it was, for me, the tapes. Like, the tapes that I used to hear, the tapes from like Armory performances and you know, Busy Bee, Kumo D destroying Busy Bee the first time, and I love Busy, no disrespect to Biz.
Yeah.
I heard that on a tape. You know, it was those tapes. The first time I ever heard Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five was a tape. The first time I heard the Cold Crush was a tape.
What year is this?
This is the 70s, man. This
Wow.
is the 70s. You know, this is, and all of that, just, it was the tapes, man. It was that, and it was the fact that Russell Simmons wasn't far from me.
Right. Oh, wow.
He wasn't far from me. And then he used to throw these parties, and they used to have an ice cream parlor on Hollis Avenue when I was a kid, and he used to throw parties up there. He used to bring Curtis Blow.
Wow.
You know, and Curtis
Man.
Blow, and then Run was not too far from me, and Run was his DJ. He used to call himself DJ Run, the son of Curtis Blow. So the hip hop and the music and the movement has always been just a big part of my life. It's always been there. It's always been somewhere around.
Right.
You know, from even dating back to the Last Poets and the cats like that, dating back to my parents playing music in the house. My mother used to buy all of this music all the time and playing on 45s. I know this is real old for a lot of youngins, right?
Yeah.
But she'd buy the 45s and play the 45s. And I remember when hip hop first exploded, and it was going crazy, I went back and looked at some of her 45s, and she had a 45 in there from this guy that was kind of like, he was an artist, but he was also like funny at the same time. His name was Pigmeat Markham. And he had a song called Here Come the Judge.
Okay.
And I remember listening to that song again once I was into what hip hop was really doing. It was going, and listening, going like, this was hip hop before we knew what hip hop was.
Right, right.
Because he was actually rhyming on the record.
Right.
This before Sugar Hill, this before any of that stuff came out. So that, I guess that way of putting words together and doing things was always there. We just took it to another level.
That's right, yeah. Because you know, it's it's noted that hip hop started in the Bronx, but did you ever travel outside of Queens to see where?
Yeah, because I had family that lived all over the place.
Okay.
I had a lot of the migration that happened from the South was all of us moving into different parts of New York City. I was born actually in Brooklyn.
Okay.
You know, Mano hates when I say that.
How many years
Mano's
you lived
a
in
good
Brooklyn
friend. I
before
lived
you-
in Brooklyn like 6 years.
Okay.
Right? So when we was a kid, we migrated to Queens for a better life.
Right.
So I was born at Cumberland Hospital in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I grew up, all my formidable years were in Queens. So we were Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Harlem, all over the place. We had family all over the place. I have family across the United States as far as Flint, Michigan.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
a lot of them up there from Flint too.
Yeah.
So we were all over the place.
Yeah, I asked you that because for me, I think it started for me when I saw the movie B Street.
Uh-huh.
When I came like 85, somewhere around that time.
Wow, yeah, that was early 80s.
84, somewhere
Yeah,
around
early
that.
80s.
That kind of like opened my eyes up to start looking for hip hop. Then I started looking for it on the radio, listening to Red Alert, listening to WBLS.
But Redden was doing it way before that, man.
Yeah, but I didn't catch it then. I was
Right.
still a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that movie B Street opened my eyes and I was like, oh snap, what's this? And it just
Right.
everything just tingled for me.
But then there was Wild Style before Beat Street was.
Okay.
And Fab
Yeah,
was
yeah.
in Wild Style, and so it was just so much going on, man.
Right.
All the graph writers. My brother was a graph writer, so when he go to the layups, sometimes I sneak away and go to layups with him and meet all the cool graph writers, and they be playing hip hop on the radio, you know, on their little box and
Yeah.
the tapes. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know in a few you spoke about you wanted to be a rapper at first.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Who
saw
didn't?
you saw LL.
Who didn't
You
want to?
saw LL.
Dog, who
So
didn't want to be a rapper,
Yo,
man?
Ed, this is my burning question, man. If you didn't see LL rhyme, would you still pursue that rapping career?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Because I was considered one of the best in the neighborhood at the time.
Snap. Let me hear something then.
Yeah, I was
Let me
oh,
hear
come
something.
on, man. That's the old school Ed. You know what I mean? I was considered one of the best in the neighborhood at the time, writing, and, you know, and running them weren't, at that time, running them really became super known in Hollis after they dropped music.
Okay.
They weren't just really known like as guys around the neighborhood that could rap like that.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't in the parks and stuff like that.
Wow.
They didn't do a lot of park jams and stuff like the Live from the Park came after they had a record deal.
Okay,
They
who was some of the- not to
it
cut
was like Mikey D from Laurelton.
Thank you.
It was like me, MC Eddie D. It was Sha T. It was the Albino Twins. It was a lot of dudes. You know, you heard about the Super Lover crew, Herbie, Kid and Play, and all of them but they from a different neighborhood in Queens than I'm from.
Oh, gotcha.
So you heard about them, but you never heard of Running D. But then you heard of this. You heard of LL.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you heard about that kid.
Yeah, he was outside.
No, he was outside, man, and he was nasty with it.
Right.
So I was like, it wasn't even just his rhyming; it was his concepts.
Yeah, okay.
And once you understand that this kid is writing concepts, he just wasn't rhyming. You know what I mean? He was writing concepts, and a lot of that I think he got from listening to Mel and them.
Okay.
You know, because Melly Mel was writing super concepts. Like he did the party rhymes with the Furious Five, but once he dropped the message, he changed everything, man.
Yeah. So who's some of like the MCs that influenced you to
Mel,
your style?
Mel.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah,
know,
that
listen,
makes sense.
I am so happy and gratified that I could call this dude my friend. Like the way I looked up to him, he's an MC God to me because he really is the first person to really started rhyming the way we rhyme today. Before him, Busy Bee and all of them, they were party rappers. They were more throw your hands in the air, waving like you just don't care, who's in the house, what's your zodiac sign, that kind of stuff. Mel started putting rhyming together. Like I had never heard nobody say, my name is Melly Mel and I'm so nice, I write a rhyme on the ground and make the world turn twice. That was crazy to me.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
He was
yep.
right. And then when the message came out, the concept of that song gave everybody insight into the ghetto.
Right.
And then that opened the door for what I call reality rap. And then it opened the door for gangster rap.
Yeah.
Because of what him and Duke Booty put down on paper on the message. You know, so Mel was a superhero to me, even more so than Moody, more so than all of them. It was at first was Mel.
Right.
After Mel, for me, is Rakim.
That's that. Thank you. That is Rakim for me.
The first era to me is about Mel and Moody and all of those guys that was rhyming back in the day. Spoonie G, all of them dudes. Kool Moe Dee, the Treacherous Three, all of them from that era. Then when LL and Running Them came, but once Rakim put pen to paper, it was over.
That was it for me.
He changed everything.
Yeah, that for you. I like how you just broke your list down. For me, it came in like Rakim, like you said, Rakim, the Public Enemies, the LLs, the Bismarcks, the
Kane,
Juice
of
Crew.
course.
Yeah, that all
G-Rap, of course.
Yeah.
Like they changed everything, bro.
So I came, that's my lineage of my coming into hip hop right there.
Yeah, they changed everything. They changed the whole world.
This episode of Rhymes and Politic is brought to you by Whitley Agency. Whitley Agency is a global talent and business management, media, production, and consulting firm headquartered here in Atlanta, Georgia. Whether you're seeking professional talent, business, or financial consultation, a representative for yourself, brand, or company, they're here to serve you in a multitude of ways. Visit them at whitleyagency.com or follow them on Instagram at Whitley Agency.
So you came into the game right behind like Fab Five Freddy to Ralph McDaniels. Was there any pressure for you to carry that torch coming on the Yo MTV Rap?
No, not really, because not for me personally, and I don't think for Dre either. I can speak for both of us. We just wanted to be who we were. We weren't trying to be Fab. You can't out-cool Fab. Like Fab to me is the coolest dude on the planet Earth. You can't out-cool that dude.
Right.
So our idea going into it is just like, yo, we're just two dudes in this clubhouse or in this basement, and we're just showing you hip hop videos.
Yeah, yo, I love
And we're
that.
just gonna have fun doing it. Because that was our personalities, were to have fun.
That's what I was gonna say.
So we
Y'all
just
two
gonna-
chemistry
yeah,
was crazy and it was fun.
Fab was more laid back, he cool, you know, scarf tied around his neck, the hats, that's Fab.
Yeah.
That's not me and Dre. Me and Dre is more like the baseball caps, the sneakers, the, you know, whatever it was that what we felt like we wanted to wear and just present these rap videos to y'all inside of this. Make it feel like you was watching somebody that lived next door to you doing it.
Yeah, I'm glad you broke that down because you did come on there with some fire outfits and sneakers on, like you still
All
keeping
the
it
time,
going.
bro. All the time, yeah. That's what we were. That's what we were all
And
about.
I appreciate you, Ed,
And
for
then
doing that, man.
once we got to that point where we could get it, where we can have starters sending us clothes, and we can have, you know, I met Carl Kanai in the street in LA. I was the first person to wear Carl Kanai on television.
Wow, yeah.
I just met him on a humble, and I liked the outfit he had on, and I asked him about it. He said, "Yo, I made this." I was like, "You made that?" He said, "Yeah. My name is Carl Kanai. I make clothes, custom clothes, man. Come on." And I told him, he said, "No, I know you." I said, "Man, I wear your stuff on TV."
That's what's
So I came by his crib. He had people that's down like just in his townhouse, and like in the basement part, like 4 or 5 sewing machines, and people just putting together outfits. And he gave me a bunch of stuff, and I took it back and I wore it on MTV, and I just made sure I kept the tag hanging off. So that everybody could see it was called Kanai. Yeah.
Carl Kanai cross colors too, right?
Yeah. But you know, that was after they merged. But Carl was the first person that I met, and Carl made clothes for us.
Okay.
He made the jeans fit the way we want them to fit, the pockets deep enough.
Right.
The way we want them. Now you see everybody will do that. And they'll make sure if they're trying to get to the urban market, the pockets are deeper. You know what I mean? So Carl was that dude, man.
Yo, damn, Ed, I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you for doing that, like showing that love and just bringing the next person
Yeah,
in, like,
absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What was it like shooting the episodes, like
Easy.
taping that day? How many episodes y'all taped
We
that day?
shot a week in a day.
Dang.
We never saw the videos. We didn't put the,
what's
the
the
videos went
format
in.
of the
So
show
the
like?
format was, we come on, we say hi, we say whatever we want to say. We had a certain amount of time, and then they would say, go to the first video. And then we would say, okay, well, coming up on your MTV Raps, here's, you know, Hammer with Turn This Mother Out, right here on your MTV Raps. Then we figure out what we're going to do for the next, and then we come back and we shoot the next and the next and the next and the next video, go to, say goodbye, change clothes, come back and do it again. Or if we had a guest coming in, then we'd have to deal with the guest segments and stuff like that.
So it was
We
almost
never
kinda
saw
like
the
an improv a
video.
little
They
bit.
put the videos in later. But
Right.
all the stuff between, Dre and I improv the whole thing. All we had to remember is what's the next video.
Yo, y'all killed it. It
That's
looks
it.
so organic and like
Because we was having fun.
that part, yeah.
That was it. Dre would say, yo, I got something, follow me. And I'd follow him. And that would be it.
Yo, you and Dr. Dre laid the foundation on your MTV Rap. Why was there need to add on T Money to the show?
Because T was always there.
Okay.
We had so much mail coming in. we wanted to get to the male. T and Dre was original concept.
Okay.
That was their group.
Yeah.
All that knowledge me, man, that's Dre and T Money stuff. You know, all of the stuff that was sampled by Dre for Eazy-E's early, that's all Dr. Dre and T Money stuff.
Oh, okay.
Their original concept. So T was always there.
Okay.
So we had so much mail coming in, we needed a way to say, hey, this is the mail. Instead of just bringing it out of a bag, we dubbed T Yo Mailman.
That's what. Yeah.
So he's the mail guy. So it's almost like we're in the hood.
Right.
And this is the mail dude.
Yo, that was
and T
perfect.
brought the mail in, and after that, he just started developing characters, man. And we just started coming up with characters and stuff and reasons for him to be on the show.
Yeah, yo, he just fell right in place.
Yeah,
Man.
absolutely.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all just had a, not too long ago, 30-year anniversary of your MTV Raps at the Barclays Center. What was that?
That was
atmosphere?
incredible, bro.
I can imagine.
Oh, my
Everybody
God.
was there.
That's
I wish I was there, man.
Hands down, one of the best concerts I've ever been.
I can imagine. I saw the little YouTube. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
the KRS
man.
One closing it out. Oh my God, it was crazy. That was surreal to celebrate something that happened in your life that was so pivotal.
Yeah.
You know, 30 years ago, and to have that many people come out to sell out the Barclays, have everybody come out to celebrate that show and that time. You know, it was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Were you at the Hip Hop 50th at Yankee Stadium?
No, I didn't make that one.
Oh, man, that was outstanding.
I wasn't invited.
What?
No.
That's crazy. Nah, you should have been
I wasn't
there.
invited to that. I wasn't invited to the 50th celebration of hip hop at the Grammys. Wasn't invited to that. Wasn't invited
How
to.
you don't get invited? Like you.
I don't know. I don't put myself out there. If they invite me, they invite me. I mean, they didn't invite Ralph either. Ralph wasn't invited to,
Yeah. Oh,
and
man.
they let. I mean,
You guys need to be
Questlove,
submitted in-
Questlove was the curator, and I'm quite sure that he had a limited amount of time, like he said, and he couldn't get to everybody.
Yeah.
But I didn't even see them say anything about Herc at that, and I know they did in the Bronx, but on the Grammys, I'm not sure. I don't even think I saw it. It was just like, you know, hip hop means too much for it to be a blur.
Yeah.
And I felt like the Grammys made it a blur.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. Early 90s, you guys ushered in a slew of hip hop legends that came through the door. The Wu-Tangs, the Nas's, the Mob.
Oh my God, the Wu-Tang.
Now seeing them where they at now, how does that make you feel? Like seeing
I-
where they are
I love
seeing
it.
them
I love
as
it.
kids coming in on the show.
Yeah, I love it.
And now where they are now is
I love it. Like,
legends.
it's crazy. We shooting this today is Jadakiss' 50th birthday.
Yeah, I think he has something up in the
Kiss
Bronx.
is 50.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And he got 30-some years in.
Yeah.
His son,
Time goes by
J1, is
quick.
nice too. You know, so, and to watch the Wu hand it down to their kids. Method Man daughter's nasty.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? Old Dirty got a son that's rapping now too, and then his son takes his place on all the Wu-Tang tours.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just it's amazing to see the legacy from a bunch of dudes that I met on Jones Beach
Yeah.
that surrounded me, scared the crap out of me, and told me they the Wu-Tang Clan and gave me. This is the one tape I wish I would have saved in my life.
Right.
I had Method Man and Protect Your Neck on a tape. They put it out on Wu-Tang Records. It was Protect Your Neck on one side and Method Man on the other side. I should have kept that tape, bro.
Was it the same?
This before Loud Records.
Is it the same
Yes,
version that
yes,
they put
the
out?
exact same thing that Loud put out, they put out on Wu-Tang Records.
Wow.
And they gave me that tape at Jones Beach during the Greek Fest.
Dang.
And I remember riding on the way home with that tape, and I listened to Protect Your Neck, and I was like, this is probably one of the most incredible records I ever heard. How they seamlessly made that many people that was so different. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
But it sounds seamless.
Right, exactly.
And I always like to ask RZA, because RZA had the ear. They didn't record it that way. They recorded it where whoever came to the studio on the day they were supposed to come recorded. RZA heard it that way.
Right.
So I'm always fascinated by how he hears things. One of the most interesting things RZA's ever said to me was, there is a version of Cream with RZA and Ghostface. Just them. But when he recorded Deck and Ray, he said they sounded better than we did.
Really?
So that's the version I put out.
Oh, they got to put that version out still.
But how is it that you're the leader of this clan, but you're not thinking about your own ego? You're thinking about the betterment of the group. So you're thinking, this is the best sounding.
Yeah.
This is me, and I know I want some shine, but that sounds better than me and Ghost. So that's what I'm putting out. That's the record, Cream.
Now, we got to give it to RZA. He's a good orchestrator.
Oh, my God. He's one of the best that's ever done it, bro.
Production-wise, all that. Who's some of your favorite producers back at that?
Gotta go.
RZA.
Let's go with Larry Smith first. For what Larry did. What Larry did was sucking MCs, right?
Ooh.
Stripped everything down. You know, Larry put me inside the Cadillac as a nod to him. Let's go to Marley.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Let's go to Primo. Let's go Buck Wild. Let's go Swizz Beats. Let's go
45 King.
45 King, of course, man.
Go.
You know, so many dudes. West Coast, you got Dr. Dre, and then you got the guy that nobody talks about because he passed away in 2008, Johnny J. He's the one that did 90% of them great Tupac records that everybody liked.
Wow.
And he's a Latino-Mexican kid. All of them records a lot of them records people think Dre did.
Yeah.
Dre didn't do them records. Johnny J did them records. Scott Storch is another one. There's so many, man. There's so many. Cool and Dre. There's so many dope producers. Havoc, come on, bro.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Havoc is a beast.
Havoc?
Alchemist. Knife Wonder right now.
Yes. Knife Wonder's always been dope. You can't get off your man.
You listen to some of the new
my
underground
God, what's
artists?
his name? Huh?
Some of the new underground cats like Griselda and all them? Or you
I love them dudes, bro.
All
I'm
day.
on Benny Summer Butcher.
I got that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Benny hollered at me, put me on there. Yeah, Summertime Butcher. Yeah.
Yeah. That was fire.
They mean with it, bro.
Killing it right now.
They mean with. That's who I listen to now.
Me too.
Is the guys, the cats that the Rock Marcianos, the cats that can really spit, and there are a lot of them. It's just that the time is different now.
Yep.
And the people who are supposed to be A-list hip-hop, to me, not a lot of them are really great hip-hop artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dudes that put pen to paper and really can go in.
That part.
Yeah.
I'm right with you, Ed.
Yeah.
Because you got a real passion for hip hop.
I love
culture,
it.
and I'm the same way like you. Yeah, my ear, I'm visually listening.
First of all, you got a lot of
artists.
artists out there ain't writing their own shit.
Yeah.
Okay? They couldn't spit the shit if they didn't punch the shit in a million times. They got to learn, and then they wonder why these artists don't last because they're not talented.
Right.
They've never been talented. You know what I mean? So it seems like the really, truly talented artists are taking a back seat to what I would dub if this was the 90s or the early 2000s, those would be the C and B artists.
Yeah.
The C and B artists are now the A artists.
Yep.
And the A artists can't get any shine. You know, it's difficult because there's no minor league anymore.
Right.
Like everybody had to come up through the minor league, right?
Absolutely.
You had to get in them ciphers.
Yep.
You had to spit.
Underground.
You know, we forgot producers, and damn, I should be slapped for this. Q-Tip and Just Blaze.
Hell yeah.
Q-Tip and Just Blaze.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But back to what we were just saying, the artists, they don't have anywhere to hone their craft now.
Right.
There's no ciphers. They're not getting in a circle in school and rhyming. I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm in the studio. I'm doing this in my basement, you know, and then that's it.
Yeah.
They become famous.
Now
Look how famous Blueface is. And he only had one record.
That's crazy. Now there are some platforms that do have to drop the mics where the cats coming out. I don't know if they spitting old joints.
Yeah.
Coming off the dome. Some
Yeah.
maybe, but some is keeping that alive. Even Sway in the Morning, keeping it alive with the hyenas on the joint, on the radar.
Yeah, Papoose is still playing underground stuff taking up for where K-Slay left off at.
Yeah.
You know,
So
big
it's
shout out to
little
Pat.
days, you gotta find it now.
Yeah, but you got to search for it. But
That's
before
right.
we didn't have to search for it because the dope motherfuckers was right
That
in
was
your
protocol.
face.
Yeah, it was protocol.
It was
to
protocol to be
make
dope. You had to be dope.
Earn your stripes. You're
Yeah,
right.
you had to. Now you don't.
Yeah. So transitioning from television to radio, you came in with Hot 97 and
In 93.
they was turning into a full-time hip-hop
Yeah,
radio station.
yeah.
How did y'all come up with the format for the morning show?
I never wanted to do mornings. I was working at MTV, man, 1 day a week.
Yeah.
Why I want to get up at 5 o'clock a.m., 4:30 to go do some radio show. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but once they showed me the money made sense,
That
right?
part.
But we came up with the concept of it, trial and error, just trying different stuff. And I thank Lisa G all the time.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned our transition into morning radio, Lisa was a veteran. She already knew how to do radio. So Lisa and the team that we had around us, Wayne Mayo and others that we had with us, taught us how to properly format and do morning radio the right way.
Gotcha.
It would have never worked without Al Barry, Wayne Mayo, and Lisa G. It would never work. You know?
How long it took you to like grasp everything and get a flow going?
Couple of months. I think maybe almost a year. Once I saw the immediate reaction that I was getting from radio compared to television. Somebody tell you something you did on television and you taped that 6 weeks ago and you don't remember it.
Right.
But with radio, you step right outside, you getting in your car, yo, I heard you this morning. I disagree with you about the Yankees.
Yeah, that's in real time.
It's real time. So once I saw that reaction, I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool.
Got you. Did the Wendy Williams, the Star and Buck Wiles come in after you, or some sort of
Wendy
like the same
came
time?
in
Did you see their
a
career?
little bit after.
Okay.
Star and Buckwild was definitely after.
Okay.
After. But you know what? Dre and I never, everybody's trying to develop their own lane. Wendy was more gossipy, right? That was her thing, gossip. Star and Buckwild was trying to be shock jocks. I have no idea where Buckwild is nowadays.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You still see
Yeah.
Star on YouTube doing certain stuff like that. But Dre and I never wanted to be shock jocks. I'm not a shock jock. I'm just funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can make you laugh. I'm not trying to shock you. I feel like when you get up in the morning, you want to be entertained. The people that I grew up listening to, the Zemo and the Zoo when I was a kid, they were entertaining.
Right.
They made me laugh on my way to school.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you get up in the morning, you turn on the radio, you want to laugh, you have something to smile about. And that's what we try to provide. We try to take what we were doing on MTV, because it did lapse over for 3 years. We were doing both for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And we just try to provide that same feeling, but you know, audio-wise.
Yeah. You like doing radio more now?
I still love doing radio. I'm still syndicated across the country.
Yeah.
I still do my radio show. I love it.
Yeah, because you got, let's run your joint down. You've been on Hot 97, Power 105, 92.3 The Beat, Backspin, the Ed Lover Show with Moody Love, the Come On Son podcast.
Still going on with that.
Rocking and rolling, bro.
Yeah,
How's
it
that
don't
going?
stop.
How you like the podcast?
I've been podcasting. You know, the Podfather got me into podcasting, man. And God rest his soul. And I've been podcasting ever since. So I'm up to like episode 3, almost 400.
Damn.
Yeah, we've been
we still
podcasting.
we trying to catch up, Ed.
We drop once a week.
Okay.
And yeah, we love podcasting.
You have a team for the Come On podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a whole team behind me, producers. You know, yeah. And we don't do a lot of guests.
Okay. Yeah, it's mostly you, mostly.
Me and the wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of guests. You know, Miss Fruit is becoming a star in her own way now.
Yeah,
with
get more like
podcasting.
it.
So it's more the audio thing.
Okay.
We're getting more into visuals now. You know, but it's just cool, man. It's very opinionated. We have a lot of fun, and we talk about whatever's happening.
Right.
Sometimes we talk nostalgia. Sometimes we talk relationships and kids and being a parent, being a grandparent. You know, there's 2 different things between being a parent and a grandparent.
Yeah.
And you know how to handle kids. But if we could drop some jewels in between that, then we do.
That's good, yo. That's dope, Ed. Yo, how did you connect with Odyssey? Is that a partnership deal?
Yeah.
They like
Odyssey.
a Spotify, new Spotify.
Yeah, Odyssey. Odyssey was the station that I was on when I went to Chicago.
Okay.
And then when COVID hit and I came back and I started just working through syndication with Odyssey, Odyssey was starting their podcast platform.
Gotcha.
So I was already doing my thing before Odyssey. I didn't need Odyssey at all.
Okay.
And they wanted to put me on their platform, and at first I was hesitant. And then I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna do it, we have to do a partnership.
Right.
You know, you just ain't gonna chip me off because I don't need you.
Right.
I'm already booming. I'm already making money. I'm already McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Lincoln Navigator and all that. I don't need you.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna come in you got to add some value, you know, and that's what I did.
For like new podcast platforms trying to come up in the game and get to that level, what's some of the steps?
Consistency is the number one thing.
That's it, bro.
It's the number one thing. A lot of people start a podcast and don't have a decent podcast, but if they don't see their audience growing the way they want the audience to grow, oh, they'll stop. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because podcasting is all word of mouth. You know what I mean? So somebody gonna say, yo, have you checked this podcast out? This one is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like the podcast industry is becoming too crowded.
It is. Yeah. But we ain't going nowhere.
But everybody can't do it well.
That part. Right.
Everybody can't do it well.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like hip hop. Everybody want to rap and then they'll put something out and they'll go, and then they'll leave the rest of it out there. It's just about consistency.
That's it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do here. That's what we're doing here. Then.
Yeah, just be consistent.
Yo, you and Fat Joe have some of the most dopest hip hop stories. What's some memorable ones that stick out to you the most?
Some of them,
If there was a versus for hip hop stories, you and Fat Joe would go head to head, toe to toe.
one of the ones that stick out to me is when Suge pulled a pistol on me one night.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. You was in LA?
Yeah.
What? Why would he put a pistol on Ed Lover?
we became really cool after that, but I didn't really know Suge, and this was right at the beginning of Death Row. It was at my party when Dre beat up D Barnes. You know, when Dre had all them problems when he beat the young lady up.
Okay.
When I came into the bathroom, he was hitting her head on the floor of the bathroom, and I pulled him off of her.
Yeah.
It was at our party. My group that we had our own label. We had a label through Def Jam called No Face Records.
Right.
So it was our party that we had Bitches with Problems out, and we had just signed Live Squad just before Stretch got killed. And we was getting ready to put Live Squad out, and it was at my party. So they called the ambulance, and I helped them get her outside, and the ambulance came. When I was coming back up the stairs, Dre and Suge was coming down the stairs. It was a dimly lit staircase. I was like, yo, Dre, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, yo, Money, why the fuck would you come to my shit and do some shit like this? Out of all of the parties that you and Easy and y'all thrown, I ain't never acted up in none of y'all shit.
Right.
You know, I'm like, we got a relationship, and then Suge pull a gun on me. I was like, yo, you got a problem with the shit? I said, oh, this what we doing? Okay.
What?
I'm in LA, but I'm outside, nigga.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went and got the squad, and we went and got our broads that we knew that always held our guns when we came, and they was trying to leave in a convertible. We rolled up on them. What's up?
What the fuck?
We rolled on them niggas crazy,
Yeah,
yo.
yeah.
Get the fuck out the car. And Dre was like, yo, and Dre was like, yo, Ed, we didn't know that was you. Da 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 da. Me and Suge laughed about it later on. I gave them niggas a pass right there. Like,
Yo, I'm glad ain't nobody got hurt, man.
it could have got ugly.
Right. How
It
long,
coulda got ugly.
how long you been in LA shaking and moving out there?
Shit since 90.
Damn.
We was shaking them because NWA was out.
Yeah, so-
we had to go out there and interview them. Too short. We used to go up to the Bay, interview them. We fucked with Cube once he left. It was other artists out there. Quick, everybody was bubbling.
Yeah.
Coming from LA. Ice-T had already been bubbling. So we was fucking with Ice, but that was in Dre's dark time.
Right. Wow.
He was getting
Crazy.
drunk all the fucking time. He wasn't a happy person at that time.
Yeah. This is when like his rise coming up.
When he
NWA
first
transitioned to
when they
Death
left Easy,
Row.
they left Ruthless, and they was starting Death Row.
Right. That's when all like a lot of stress,
He was
and pressure.
yes.
Yeah.
He didn't get happy again until he got Aftermath.
Yeah, I think they kind of highlighted that in the movie in a little bit.
Yeah, he
Didn't
was
get too
like
deep
how he
into
had
it.
got arrested. He
Yeah.
was drunk and shit. Yeah, that's what he was on.
Wow.
That's what he was on.
Damn, Ed, you seen some stuff in this game, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn. What goes through your mind when you see your peers in the industry have legal issues?
It bothers me.
Yeah.
It bothers me on a lot of spaces in my mind because I just dropped my last week's podcast is called Why, and I was talking about that. Why is it that we are the ones that get fucked up?
Right.
Why is it we're the ones that get arrested, but sometimes our white counterparts do the same shit and they don't get arrested for it? It's a reminder to my brothers that no matter how much money you accumulate, And no matter how big you think you are, in their eyes, you a nigga.
Yeah.
And you better remember you're a nigga. And you better stay in your place. And that's a hard pill to swallow. For a man, for a woman, for any person of color.
Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow that there is still, after all these years, still a glass ceiling in America. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, if we're not a part of it, you're not going to do it, but to a certain degree. Like you look at the success that Diddy had with Ciroc, but he didn't own Ciroc. Diageo owned Ciroc. You know what I mean? It's always going to be a white person above you making money off of you. And if you don't remember that your place is here, they will bring your ass crashing down.
Right.
So don't get out of pocket.
Let's just say Diddy beats this case. Do you think he could bounce back?
No.
Or should he stay behind the scenes?
They ruined him. They're ruining him I wish Sean, Puff, Diddy, all the best in life. He never did anything wrong to me. Well, we had some businesses that we're supposed to do together that didn't work out. But as far as a friend, he's always been cool with me.
Okay.
And I just think they're trying to ruin him. They're trying to ruin him the way they ruined Murder Inc. Remember how they ruined Murder Inc.? The feds just destroyed them musically.
Yeah.
I remember sitting down with John when I was on Sirius XM, and I said, what hurt y'all most? Battling with G-Unit and 50 or the federal case? He said, by far it's the federal case.
Right.
Because it ruined them. They couldn't get another deal. Nobody would touch them.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be if Diddy beats this case. Hopefully he's still got some money. He can ride off into the sunset
That part.
and chill and take care of his family, take care of his kids.
Right.
But as far as any major company and organizations want to do business with him, I can't see it. Not once you get a RICO. You know?
Yeah.
You know, Irv did well, but he never bounced back to that stature of Murder Inc.
Right.
Even when there was an opening at Def Jam, and who was better at the time to be the president of Def Jam than Irv, and they wouldn't give it to him. So that stigma of the feds fucking with you hangs on you for a long time.
Yeah.
He's not going to be operating in that manner as that Diddy
Exactly, yeah.
as he was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's back to Sean Combs. That's crazy.
Could never
man.
take his legendary status away from him from what he did in the music business.
That
But look
part,
at look at R. Kelly. It's a rap. It's a rap.
I still love his music though.
Gotta love his music. I'm quite sure he got some records too.
Yeah.
I don't know why
What they doing?
I don't know why somebody just don't go in there quietly, talk to Rob and say, give me some music. Let me take it and have these young people record this shit.
Yeah.
And we'll keep your publishing going and we'll quietly, you don't even have to put your name on it. We'll start up another publisher company. They don't even have to know it's you because I know this nigga got music. He's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
So I know he got music.
You been around him when he's in the studio recording or
Yeah. Rob is a musical genius, man. He just was bugging the fuck out.
Wow.
The first time he beat it, he should have chilled.
Yeah.
Ego.
How are you able to stay out of these
I ain't
drama
that
issues
dude.
and stuff like that?
I'm not that dude.
Yeah.
I'm not. But when that Diddy shit happened, I had to start thinking. Did I ever say? You know, a nigga got to think.
Right.
You know, I know I wasn't involved in none of them freak offs and shit like that.
Yeah, because you say you was at the parties, but you never
at
saw
the party,
nothing
but I know when to break out, right? But I got to think about this shit. Like, I don't want no female coming and saying 20 years I did some foul shit.
Yeah.
So I have to think about. You got to think about your track record.
I'm the same way, man. Now I'm learning how to go to events, network, do what I got to do, and get out of there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a part.
I was never a dude that my father used to say, "Don't shit where you eat." So I was never a dude that I'm gonna mess with one of the girls that work at the radio station.
Yeah. There's never no temptation there?
No.
Right.
I'm gonna fire one of my assistants for it.
Okay.
I was like, dude, no, we work here.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you do in your personal time, but you ain't gonna do it with her.
No doubt.
She work here. If she works somewhere else, fine, but not.
Yeah. Nah, that's good though. I'm glad because it's vicious out here, man.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Let's go to your acting career real quick. Let's touch on that. Who's the Man? A classic. You wrote that.
Yeah, me and Dre.
You also appeared in the Cosby Show, Moesha. Did you take acting classes or
Yeah.
how did you?
Yeah.
For Who's the Man, did you take acting
No,
classes?
no, not for that. But after that, I started to.
Okay.
Yeah, and I still do now.
You still
I still take acting
like
classes.
acting?
Yeah, I love it.
Me too. I'm doing it too right now.
Yeah, I
I'm
love
doing
it. It's
little
tough.
Projects.
It will deflate your ego in a heartbeat.
Right.
Because you'll walk in thinking you killed an audition
Yeah.
and you didn't get it. I think my most heartbreaking audition I ever had was Jerry Maguire. Chris Columbus called the director looking for me, and they flew me out to L.A. and I auditioned for the part Cuba Gooding Jr. got.
Yeah, okay.
And Jerry Maguire. And I had 3 callbacks. One of my callbacks was actually an audition with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And he was late. And all the producers and stuff there, he ran about a half an hour late, and he came in and apologized to me for him being, I'm like, shit, you Tom Cruise, what the fuck you apologizing
right.
to me? But he's such a nice guy. And Regina King, who played in the movie opposite Cuba as his wife,
Yeah.
we were cool. I know her since she was on 227. So she called me and said, yo, we're going to be working together. I'm like, what you talking about? She said, Jerry Maguire, I got that part. I'm going to be playing your wife. Your 8x10 is up in the production office.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow. And then they called me back. Chris Columbus personally called me and said, Ed, we loved you. You're too tall. When we saw you up against Tom, you're way too tall.
Yeah.
And they gave it to Cuba. But that was God.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be his.
What's for you is going to be meant for you.
Right.
You
And
know
he
what
won
I'm
a
saying?
fucking Academy Award
That's crazy, man.
for that role.
Yeah.
That was meant for him. Cuba had been doing shit way longer than I have been doing shit.
No doubt.
So that was God looking out for Cuba.
Yeah.
Good for him.
You've been in some good hip hop movies, so that you.
I was
that's
the
still good.
Undisputed with Wesley and Vane. That was
Ride.
cool. Yeah, I was a Rod. Blink and Juice, you missed me.
I saw you.
Blink, you missed
That's
me.
my-
I ain't say shit. but I was in it.
You also added stand-up comedian to your title.
I love that. That's my favorite shit to do.
Was you like a, I want to say, class? Well,
Yeah,
like a
class clown.
in
Hell
school?
yeah, hell yeah.
I could tell by your
Hell fucking
in the
yeah.
neighborhood snapping all the time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yes. We were
How
supposed to
do you-
get skipped from the 3rd to the 5th grade, and I didn't because they said that I was fucking joking around too much.
How do you come up with your material for your stand-up?
Life, where you at in life. I think what's funny to you would be 9 times out of 10 is funny to the audience. It's just, it's life. If you watch all of these guys work, they just talk about shit.
Right.
Shit that they see, shit that they go through, and they just make it relatable to the audience and funny to the audience. But stand-up, I love stand-up.
Okay.
Oh God, I love stand-up.
Yeah.
man.
How many? You got a tour date for like how many times a
I
year do you
do a
perform?
lot of dates, more so this year than any other time. That I've been doing a ton of stand-up
Okay.
all over the country. So it's nice. It's cool to see people actually come out to see you.
Right.
Like I just headlined in Tampa at this place called what's the name of that damn comedy club? Oh shit. Well, it doesn't matter. But I just headlined there, and to see people come in to actually see you.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of comedians coming on before you, like 2.
Yeah.
But they're there to see you.
Right.
It's both nerve-wracking and enjoyable.
Yeah, I can
You know,
imagine.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was cool.
You also got
Side Splitters. That's the name of it.
Okay. You also got the live mixtape band. What was the thought of creating this?
That wasn't
being
my
the live
idea.
performance?
That's not my idea.
Okay.
That idea came from my manager, Dan Small. And because we would be places, cigar spots and stuff. I'm a cigar enthusiast. And they would have a live band. And every time they had a live band, somebody would be like, yo, hey, come up, man, come up, say, we're going to play this record, say some rhymes. And it'd be like some old school record or some shit like that. And I would jump on. So Dan was like, yo, people love when you do that shit. We should do our own thing. And And I was like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, let's put some shit together and let's see what happens. I was like, dang, nobody want to see that shit. And he came up with the concept. He was like, yo, so once we started talking about it, I was like, okay, so I need a female singer, I need a male singer, gotta have a DJ on stage and a band.
Right.
And we just, everything got put together, man, and that's what it is, what everybody's seeing now. That's why we call it the Mixtape Band, because we don't go through songs, we're not gonna play the whole song.
Okay.
We treating it like you to the next
like
joint.
that, yeah. Oh, I got
it's a mixtape. Yeah.
Hey, y'all performing tonight at City
Yeah,
Winery.
City
in
Winery
Atlanta,
tonight.
Right?
Yeah, in
and
Atlanta.
y'all bringing the show up to Atlanta, New York, SOBs.
Yes, we coming back to SOBs. We got Philly.
I'm gonna catch you there, Ed.
Yeah, we got Philly coming up.
Okay.
We got a lot of shows coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire, Ed. Yo, is there anything you would change in your career? Is there anything you would do different, or are you satisfied with where you are now?
What would I do differently? Not career-wise. No, I'm very happy and satisfied with where I'm at in my career right now. You know? Yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
How's Dr. Dre doing? He's all right? Y'all still in
We're
business?
working on him health-wise.
Okay.
You know, he's getting better every day. You know, we still talk.
Okay.
We still got projects that we work on together. And we're just trying to get Dre healthy.
Right.
You know, that's the most important thing for anybody. It's always got to be your health over your wealth.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't keep ripping and running. You're seeing all of these cats dying super young, you know, and you got to take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't worth it.
Just to spin back real quick, we saw how Coming to America came out with a part 2 on Netflix.
Who to? We've
Would
been
you
talking
do
about
Who's
that
the
for the
Man
last
2?
30 years,
With
bro.
some of like the new up and coming?
I don't know what it is with New Line owns it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what it is with New Line, but people have been calling for that, and we have been talking about that for the last 20 some odd years.
That'd be ill, though.
I would love to do.
That would be
I had
dope.
already a long time ago written a concept for Who's the Man too. So you know, Dre's down, I'm down, everybody's down. Add some new flavor to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
let's give it an updated feel.
Yeah, let's
That's
do it again.
Yo, New Line, we need that. Don't short us on that. But yo, Ed, we ain't gonna hold you. We know you're busy. You gotta go perform tonight. I want to appreciate you giving us your time. I love what you did in this culture, being your authentic self, man.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you, Ed.
I'm not done.
Yeah. Just give us some closing remarks for like anything you want to give to the hip hop culture. Some good words of some positive words.
My good words to the hip hop culture would be keep the real hip hop culture alive. Keep the actual love for the music above everything else. Keep the culture of hip hop alive, because in the last decade or so, I've been watching us give our culture away for free. Let's stop giving our culture away for free and make sure that the culture comes before everything else. The money is going to come if you're true to the culture and to the music. The money is always going to come. Just be true to the culture and the music first and foremost, and leave a legacy.
Ed, I appreciate you, Ed, man. This was an honor, man.
Thank you, brother.
My hip hop spirit.
Thank
is
you, man. Thank
satisfied.
your cousin
It's
over
full
there in the
right now.
corner.
Absolutely. Yo, check it out. Make sure you like what
It
you
says
like what
that
you just saw.
anything that I regret. I started to say you. Now I fucked up.
Yo, nah, you good, Ed. You like what you just saw? Like, comment, subscribe, share this episode, man. Got a living legend right here amongst us, y'all. This is an honor.
Peace and love, y'all.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Peace and love.